Hi everyone. In the next couple of videos, we're going to be making a to-do API, and the specification for that API is in the resource section of the repository. So I want all of you guys to take a look at this. And now what the structure is going to be is that we're going to be devoting one video to understanding the theory and how the syntax works. And in the next video, we're going to be including that syntax by implementing a real world endpoint, and all of the endpoints that we are going to be implementing are defined over here. So for the sake of this to do API, I'm going to code everything in Visual Studio Code, and just so you can get a view of all of the directories and everything easily. So let's get started with main.go. And with our current expertise, we can make a check API health point, which is just going to return us a response code and response code 200 and status pong. So yeah, so let's get started. We're gonna do a package main, and then let's get started with the func main, and let's quickly get a server up and running. Listen and serve, and we want everything to be listening on port 3000 and mux right on. Let's do a nil right now and save. Now we obviously want to import the format package and the net/http package. Yeah, so let's define a new multiplexer and let it be http dot new default mux, new serve mux. And we're gonna do a mux dot handle func, and we wanted to handle /ping route, and whenever we get a get request on the /ping route, we want to say that do something http dot response writer, and then we have a reference to the http request. Then using both of these things, I'm going to say that if r dot method is equal to get, or we can do a http dot method get method get, then return something, right? So for our purpose, when we mention an API, in our case we're going to be making a JSON API. So JSON is JavaScript object notation, so it's in the value of key value pairs. So an example of JSON might be key and value. So all of our things are going to be in JSON. So one thing about Go structs is that we can serialize and deserialize those structs in the form of JSON. So let's have our response struct ready, so we can do or let's do one more thing. Let's have all of our structs in some other file. So we can do a structs.go, and let's create a new folder for it. mkdir structs, or I'm going to call it structs only. So I'm going to shift my function to structs, move, and I'm going to call it package struct. Yeah, so I'm going to define a new struct which is going to say response, and then so it's going to take two fields. First is the code, which is going to be an integer, and the second thing that this is going to take is the body, which can be interface or anything right now. Now what I want to do is whenever I send in a response, I want it to be serialized as JSON. So for that we can use tags. So we can say JSON serialize this as code, and if you're talking about the body, serialize this as the body. Now whenever we are sending a response in the JSON format, it's going to say okay, it's going to look for these tags JSON, and then it's going to automatically serialize the input fields accordingly. Now to import this package, we can simply do a structs. The name of the package was structs. Okay, you can do a structs.response. So we automatically included our response. So now to send something in JSON, we do a JSON dot new encoder, because we are encoding our current structure and we are encoding it into the response, right? So we created a new JSON encoder which acts like a wrapper around our response writer, because eventually we're going to be needing to write everything to the response writer, and then we can encode our new structure or our data. Now it's time to define our data. Our data is going to be structs dot response. Our code is, in the case of our API specification, going to be 200, and our response is going to be pong. So 200, or in our case we can do a http dot status okay status, mind my typos, don't mind my typos please, okay, and then our body is going to say pong. Now one more thing that we can do is that we can do a w dot, yeah, we can w dot write headers, but in this case we don't need to do so. So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna start the server right now. Go run main.go. It's listening. Now let us do a curl request, or rather let us see in the browser only, because we are using a get request. Then what happens? So /ping, and it said 404 not found. Now why is that? Because http.listen and serve is listening on port 3000 and we are doing /ping. Oh, that's why. My bad. Now I'm going to restart the server again. I included the mux this time. Now if I do a ping, this is going to send it as JSON. So I have this Chrome extension which converts JSON and structures it. But if you take a look at curl, if I do a quick curl localhost 3000 and I do a ping, then it's gonna send it in our JavaScript object notation format, where our code is 200 and our body is pong. So I also recommend that you guys download this Chrome extension. It's very good. And this is how we've created a first endpoint, a /ping endpoint. And towards the course of the next videos, we're going to be creating more endpoints, and I'm going to be explaining to you how each and everything works. So stay tuned guys, and see you guys in the next video.